The headlines. Military troops arrest 7 Boko Haram logistics suppliers, rescue 5 victims. INEC denies backdating documents for Lawan Akpabio as senatorial candidate for the 2023 general elections. Federal government releases 100 billion naira loans to pharmaceutical manufacturers, healthcare investors. And away from Nigeria, 1 killed, 8 injured as blasts hit Russia military base in Crimea. Hello and welcome to Trust News Update. I am Ayuba Ilya. Thank you for joining us. Now, beginning with security issues. Troops of Operation Hadin K have arrested 7 Boko Haram logistics suppliers and kidnappers on the outskirts of Maiduguri, the Borno state capital. According to reports, the suspects were arrested along the Maiduguri-Mafa axis on Tuesday. Security source said that the troops became suspicious when a large quantity of gari concealed in gallons and hidden beneath the vehicles was discovered. He added that the troops also rescued 5 kidnapped people and recovered 1 burnt truck. Victims of last Sunday's terrorist attack in Katsina State have called on the state and federal government to find lasting solutions to the insecurity ravaging the state and the country as a whole. During the separate attacks, 11 people were reportedly killed, dozens displaced, hundreds abducted, while several others escaped with gunshot wounds. Abdullahi Ahmadi visited some survivors at the Federal Teaching Hospital in Katsina and now reports.
These survivors narrowly escaped death from terrorist attacks in their communities and can recollect what happened even in hospital bed.
I am from Yorgoje village of Kankara local government. I was shot by terrorists who came to kill a shop owner in my community. I was shot by the terrorists in the process of killing the shop owner.
This victim from Matazu local government is unhappy with security operatives for their inability to contain the deteriorating situation, but he also blames activities of informants for the escalation of insecurity in Katsina State. My village was attacked. The terrorists are unleashing mayhem on our communities, yet no one is doing anything about it. DPO Musawa is doing his very best, but his men lack the capacity to confront the terrorists every time. This witness recounts the attacks on Shola Quarters and Chechnya in Katsina Metropolis, which left 1 person dead, a couple abducted, and 3 others hospitalized. The terrorists come to Shola Quarters and Chechnya in large numbers and heavily armed. They targeted the local vigilante and killed 1. They were shooting sporadically to scare residents before gaining access into their victims' houses. This is the first time in 2 months Katsina City is coming under brutal terrorist attack. Residents are happy with the recent Air Force strikes on some terrorist camps where dozens were neutralized. They are, however, appealing for synergy between all security operatives in tackling the menace. The most puzzling of all is how the terrorists attack their victims without resistance from any security operative in recent times. Residents see the dire need for political will in dealing with the terrorists from governments to allow people access their farms on other social activities. Abdullahi Ismail, Coast Television News, Katsina.
Now, as the security situation in the country continues to defy practical solution, people are seeking ways of curbing the menace within their localities. In Kaduna State, northwest Nigeria, a community known as Hayam Malam Bello in Rigasa, Igabi local government areas has opted to use a volunteer security outfit to assist security agencies to tackle the security challenges bedeviling the community. Here is the report.
Igabi local government areas is one of the areas that have been severely attacked by bandits and terrorists, resulting in kidnapping for ransom and cattle rustling, among others. Within the council area is High Malam Bello, a sub-community of Rigasa area. With their numbers attacks recorded at Rigasa and neighboring communities, residents of High Malam Bello community have opted for community policing to address them.
Nobody can pretend, even the leadership of Nigeria cannot pretend that we are safe. The insecurity is at the high side, and we all at Nigeria must put our head together.
They say Nigeria in general, and the community in particular, is blessed with vibrant youth who are ready to contribute their quota in the fight against insecurity.
Volunteers to assist the federal government to fight crime, to assist the government security agencies to put a stop to insecurity. But I don't know why governance is ignoring all these able men.
They appeal to President Muhammadu Buhari and Kaduna State Governor Nasiru El-Rufai to support civilian JTF activities in order to combat insecurity in the state. Bello Musa, Trust TV News, Kaduna.
And now to political matters. The Independent National Electoral Commission says it has not backdated documents to recognize Senate President Ahmed Lawan and former Akwa Ibom State Governor Godswill Akpabio as senatorial candidate. National Commissioner and Chairman, Information and Voter Education Committee of INEC, Festus Okoye, said that on Tuesday in Abuja that the forms of the two were not published by the Commission. Okoye explained that the decision of the Commission triggered legal action which are still ongoing, and it will be illogical to submit doctored documents recognizing the duo as candidate when the matter was clearly sub judice. There have been controversies after Bashir Machina won the APC's ticket for Yobe North Senatorial District, while Ekpodom won the party's primary election for Akwa Ibom Northwest, which was monitored by INEC officials. The People's Democratic Party, PDP, in Kano State is assuring its supporters that the party will resolve its internal crisis before the 2023 general elections. Idris Jibrin reports that the leadership of the party has been factionalized, with each faction claiming authenticity. The report.
According to the Muhammad Abacha-led faction of the party, the crisis within the PDP in Kano is being masterminded by the national leadership of the PDP, which they argued is working for the ruling APC, whereas the Wali-led faction of the party is accusing former Senator Konkoso of controlling the party.
The national headquarters is not comfortable with Sagagi-led faction because they are well formed by the Konkoso. And there is no way, if you take the number of the leadership, the ward level, we have 17 people as a ESCO. In the local government, we have 18 people as a leaders. If you add the number, 17 people times 484, and the 18 people times 44, and plus 39 people in the state, it will give you the number of more than 9,000 people. There is no way, and any sense somebody will not understand or agree that all of them, they boycott Congress and they didn't follow the Congress.
They are listening to people to whom they are used to failures, electoral failures. To them it's a normal thing. So they have to be concoction that show whether Sagagi is working for Konkoso, because that's the only thing that remains for them to be relevant in the party.
For the Wali-led faction, the primaries which produced Muhammad Abacha was not sanctioned by the party's national leadership, neither conducted in accordance with the law.
If Sagagi wanted to conduct primary in Kano State, first of all, he has to print his form for the gubernatorial candidate. And he has to screen them. Then he can do a primary to them. But they purchase their form at the national headquarters. And when the national headquarters picks the date for screening of the candidate, they went to Abuja national headquarters. And the panel screens them and gives them clearance certificate that they are screened to participate in a primary election in Kano State. The one who sells the form for you and screen you has the power to do you primary and submit your name to INEC. So Shehu Sagagi, he didn't sell the pump for them. He didn't screen them. Where did he get the authority, or where did he get the power to do a primary to them?
Meanwhile, the Abacha-led faction argued that the primaries was conducted in accordance with the INEC guidelines and was witnessed by the INEC officials, hence recognized Muhammad Abacha as the legitimate gubernatorial candidate of the party in Kano.
What happened is not INEC doing. It is the work of our party national headquarters, especially the Department of Organization. They are the one who uploaded those names. I even suspect some of those at the helms of affairs of the party at the national level. I suspect they are working for APC. That's what they are trying to make sure that PDP didn't win, especially here in Kano.
Although both factions will head to court to resolve their differences, but for now, the PDP has two gubernatorial candidates in Kano State. Idris Jibrin, Trust TV News, Kano.
The national chairman of the All Progressives Congress, Abdullahi Adamu, has raised concerns over the prolonged strike by the Academic Staff Union of Universities, ASU. ASU has been on strike since February 14, and the APC national chairman party called on all stakeholders, including parents, to prevail on the union to end the strike. Musa Luka reports.
The recent comment by Minister of State for Labor and Empowerment and Bola Tinubu's presidential campaign spokesperson, Festus Keyamo, on the strike raised dust. APC National Chairman Senator Adamu Abdullahi appreciated the concerns of parents toward the prolonged ASU strike, hoping that the party will push for agreement.
This party is a party in government, and we more than appreciate the concerns of parents and our children who have been out of school for quite some time now. I do know and I appreciate the effort government is making, and it is my hope that ASU will come to reality with government so that we'll have a meeting point and bring solace to our children and their parents.
Abdullahi also commented on the threat by some National Assembly members to impeach the president.
It's a very sorry development, yes. And as you can see, that is no longer on. It's no longer on. Yeah, it's the National Assembly expect this heat. It happens everywhere in every democracy.
The chairman, however, believes the party is positioned to win election in 2023. Musa Luka, Trust TV News, Abuja.
You're watching Trust News Update. Coming up shortly, we'll take a look at classroom blocks for internally displaced persons. Details of this and more after the break.
Trust TV, documenting the Nigerian story.
Welcome back. Here is a reminder of our top stories again. Military troops arrest 7 Boko Haram logistics suppliers, rescue 5 victims. INEC denies backdating documents for Lawan Akpabio as senatorial candidate for the 2023 general elections. Now, in other news, men of the Federal Fire Service have assured of their readiness to discharge their duties diligently if given the necessary tools and cooperation from the public. They spoke during the Controller General's assessment tour of the firefighting facilities across the Federal Capital Territory. Maridia Umar has more.
The assessment tour began from the Nyanya Federal Fire Service Station to Dede and Kubwa Station, which is near completion. The Controller General, Abdulghani Ujaji, accompanied by Deputy Controller General and other senior officers, was received by men of the service at each point. Some of the officers used the opportunity to make necessary demands for easy discharge of their responsibilities, while the Controller General responded accordingly. He advised the men of the fire service to take their work seriously and diligently.
Realize that some of you doesn't come to work. It's not proper because it's good. Even if you have anything you want to do, take a proper permission from your superior officer so that whenever we are looking for you, somebody will say, yes, he took permission from me that is going to this particular place.
At the Dede Station, located close to the Timber Market, popularly known as Timber Shed, the chairman of Timber Shed Marketers Association urged the firefighters to do more, as the Timber Shed recently suffered a major fire outbreak.
Considering the nature of our business, that we needed a mini station fire service there to help us based on our type of business we have. So, but I'm very happy that the boss gave us a listening ear, and he complained on it that he will do something that will be of interest to us.
The Controller General, shortly after the tour, assured of providing necessary support to ease service delivery.
I really appreciate my immediate past CG, and I believe that by the grace of God, with the support of my officers and men, we will do more than what they have done. Since fire service is not carrying arms and they are going there to fight fire, they know quite sure that there are some fire that may not be natural, that may be man-made, and people will want to loot, want to take that advantage to loot. That's the reason why the people that carry arms can also assist in making sure that they disperse those hoodlums.
The CG said they will continue to work with other security agencies in the country to combat fire and also promote fire safety across Nigeria. Mardia Umar, Trust TV News, Abuja.
As part of efforts to provide formal education for their wards in camp, internally displaced persons in Lafia, the Nasarawa state capital, have championed the construction of the present refugee camp primary school Shinge in Lafia local government area of the state. Here is the report.
The quest by the IDPs for educational for their children in the community led to them to task each member of the community who were interested in ensuring that their children acquire Western education to contribute the sum of 500 naira, which was used to pay the 6 volunteers in the community to teach 600 pupils. The primary school was officially established in 2004 as Refugee Camp Primary School, Shinge, Lafia local government area of the state, during the administration of former governor of the state, Senator Abdullahi Adamu, following religious crisis that erupted between Muslims and Christians in Yelwa Shandam. Narrating the situation surrounding the school at the moment, which forced pupils sitting under a tree to receive their lessons, the headmaster of the Refugee Camp Primary School, Shingen, Mr. Saadu Alhaji Alkali, said before he was transferred from Ishaku Islamia Primary School to Refugee Camp Primary School, the school used tents as their classroom for lessons.
We have almost about 613 pupils in the school now. So how can 613 people will be holding class in only 3 classrooms and 1 office? So the challenges we have, some of the classrooms will normally take place under the tree. Now that it is dry season, if we are holding class under the tree, when rain comes, in fact, we don't know where the children, even if we can say the children to go and match their other children in the class, honestly, the class used to be compacted, no breathing.
He, however, appealed to state government to assist the school and build more structures that will accommodate the number of pupils they have in the school, as well as perimeter fence for security. Also speaking, the district head of Refugee Camp Primary School, Lafia Muhammad Zainua, appealed to the state government to consider the plight of pupils and build more structures for them. A teacher in the school, Mrs. Halima Yusuf, also expressed displeasure over the calamity that befell the pupils and thanked God for the refugee primary school. The management of the school is hopeful that other well-meaning individuals will assist in other areas to making learning conducive for the student.
Minister of State for Petroleum Resources, Temipre Silva, says the menace of oil theft in the Niger Delta has continued to affect the nation's economy negatively, with crude oil production going down by the day. The minister stated this when he paid a courtesy visit on the governor of Imo State, Hope Uzodinma.
Leading the delegation of anti-oil theft to Imo State is the Minister of State for Petroleum Resources, Temipre Silva, who lamented the loss of petroleum to vandals. He stressed the need to partner the state government, the army and local authorities in the affected areas to put an end to the menace.
There is a national emergency over the issue of crude oil theft. And we know that we cannot handle it in Abuja without the cooperation from the states and from the areas where oil is being produced. It's a national emergency because crude oil production has dropped significantly from where it used to be. Instead of going down.
The Chief of Defense Staff, General Lucky Rabo, assured of the Army's readiness to protect the country's economic facilities. He called for the needed support of the government and the locals to enable them effectively execute fight against perpetrators of illegal oil bunkering.
All I need to add here is that truly I'm leading the security agencies to escalate actions to ensure that every form of criminality that goes along with oil and gas exploration, among other things, are terminated. But we also realize that we cannot completely do it without the support of not just the states, but down to the grassroots. We, as members of the Armed Forces and security agencies, can take extra measures.
Governor Hope Uzodinma will bemoaned the activities of vandals operating as syndicates in the state with high resistance to security forces, however, assured the delegation of the state's support for the success of the exercise.
I think that some of the things we observed working with security agencies is not passing through a proper process in engaging private security contractors. So that if you don't take time, you end up appointing those who are behind crude oil theft as security contractors. I therefore want to invite security agencies to take interest from day one.
Believe that collaborative efforts from key players will lead to a reduction in oil theft in the country.
And in business, President Muhammadu Buhari said that the federal government has released 100 billion naira to indigenous pharmaceutical manufacturers and healthcare investors as loans to expand their capital base and boost local production of medicines and medical consumables. He said this Tuesday in Abuja while receiving the new executive members of the Nigerian Medical Association. And away from Nigeria, a senior Ukrainian official has suggested a series of explosions at a Russian airbase in Crimea could have been the work of partisan saboteurs, as Kyiv denied any responsibility for the attack in the Russian-occupied territory that left at least 1 person dead and 8 wounded. Russia's Ministry of Defense said that the detonation of several aviation ammunition stores had caused an explosion at the Saki airbase on the west coast of the peninsula, which Russia annexed from Ukraine in 2014 and used in February as it began its invasion of the rest of the country. And that's a wrap on Trust News Update. Watch more via all our social media platforms and don't forget to subscribe to our YouTube channel. I am Ayuba Ile. Thank you for watching.